Okay, so my research outline is on the generalization of oppositional behaviors across home and school settings. This is relevant because you want to achieve a generalization across, all settings, and because typically children deal with parents or caregivers, and they deal with their teachers most. So in ABA, we want to see who the kids deal with most, and we want to help those people. So the method, the participants, we have Harry, a 9-year-old boy, Harry's mother, who's a 30-year-old single parent. She's working class. She's concerned about Harry's oppositional behaviors. And we have Harry's teacher. She's 35 with 12 years of teaching experience. She declined the help from the behavior analyst and the clinical team. She felt competent to deal with Harry's classroom behaviors. The study, the physical setting was primarily at home, with observations done in the classroom to see how the home interventions were generalizing. Dependent variable, or the target behavior, where there were two oppositional behaviors, the child's oppositional behaviors, and inappropriate attention from the adults. So basically, when Harry wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, the adults, his mom and his teacher, still, kind of gave him attention. Both dependent variables were measurable and quantifiable. The let's see, observations were done 1 hour weekly, and they were scheduled. And this is a single subject research design. So let's talk about the phases or procedures. So during the baseline, like I said, it was a 1 hour weekly observation at school and at home, and those observations were done on the same day. So the observers would go to both Harry's home and observe his mom, and to Harry's school to observe his teacher in the same day. And that was during the baseline phase. Parent training phase, the only information they gave that differed from the baseline phase was that undergraduate observers were used simultaneous but independent observations. They were individually trained. They received a college credit for their observations. They were in a class where they were learning about recording data and observing. They did their recordings in a scoring booklet in 15-second intervals, and no further information was given. But as far as the phases go, there were I have the article right here. So there were I think there are 4 phases: the baseline, then the parent training phase, a follow-up phase, and then a final parent booster phase. So those were the 4 phases. And the in the parent training phase, that's when a lot of the education was given. In the follow-up phase, they would go back and tweak anything that needed to be changed. And then in the final parent training booster is when they would then go back and tweak other things. The results of the study were during the parent phase, there was a decrease in inappropriate social attention as well as a decrease in oppositional behaviors from Harry. The baseline and follow-up phases resulted in an increase in both of those same categories. Generalization was achieved in both settings with oppositional behavior. So Harry's oppositional behavior was generalized in both settings. There was a lack of change in the teacher's attention. And Harry was sensitive to social contingencies across all settings. Let's see. Functional control, prediction, verification, and replication. There was functional control in this study. We talked about social validity. And my critique of this article or this study was that it stated the goal, but the goal was to reduce these behaviors. And it says to generalize in the title, but Harry's behaviors were generalized in the wrong way. He actually generalized his behaviors with an increase in oppositional behaviors and an increase in inappropriate attention from the adults. So I don't think we met our initial goal, but this is interesting to study, so I think we should continue to look at it.